Zoom meeting, no translation actually.
Thank you. It wasn't supposed to go running away like that. Brakes on this time. I got to put the brakes on.
Sorry, we missed They are in energy, 15 and 7. There's 6 people right
summer again.
Yeah, this is something else. We had one states that really nice. All of a sudden, the weather came here. It is again.
I could not believe that it is snowing yesterday. The people were mowing their lawns. People mowing their lawns. Craziness. Yes.
If you have a lush lawn, it grows. I've already cut mine several times. It looks like brand new, freshly laid sod.
So there's a total of 7 people. There's 6 that have filed their campaign committee. There's 1 that has not. So I don't know. Somebody has a very close last name to myself. So that's being done, which is confused.
Festival FES.
Everybody has a right. I'm not going to fault anyone. So we just have to look at what somebody has done in the neighborhood and if they've been responsible.
Est-ce que quand tu хочешь на сапиш? Хочешь Хочешь не написать? Хочешь. Wow, देखिए kita lesson. Ya, tu kali kita discussion kita. Tropics. Tropics, BAM, sama.
I like the video. Thank you. How's everything going?
I'm so excited.
Yeah, you're gonna be our future prosecutor.
I hope so.
All right. We'll make it.
Yes, yes. And then we're friends on Facebook, and I think I have that. Have your number. Awesome.
I'll send you my information.
Please do. Thank you.
Call to order a regular meeting of the Warren City Council Tuesday, April 25th at 7 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
President Green.
Here.
Councilman Watts.
Here.
Councilman Lafferty.
Here.
Councilman Kabazinski.
Present.
Councilwoman Rogency. Here. Councilman Papandrea.
Here.
Councilwoman Moore. Present. You have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you. Next item.
Next item is for adoption of the consent agenda. So moved.
Support Lafferty.
Motion by Moore, support by Lafferty. Discussion?
Discussion.
Mr. Lafferty.
Thank you. Just one question. I see the waiver of the fees, which is pretty routine. I'm just curious, why do we continue to waive fees for a process? Why do we have the process in place if we're going to just continue to force people to come here to ask for their fees to be waived?
Because it's in the ordinance.
Well, that's a fair answer. I'm questioning the whole process behind it. So perhaps something for us to take up, but I wasn't going to, hold this one hostage.
We have to take them one by one.
Understood. Thank you.
Any additional? Call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Rogency?
Yes.
Mr. Kabazinski?
Yes.
Mr. Watts?
Yes.
Mr. Papandrea?
Yes.
Green votes yes. Item passed 7-0. Next item.
Next item is 5, adoption of the agenda. So moved with discussion.
Support Lafferty.
Motion by Moore, support by Lafferty. Discussion, Ms. Moore?
Thank you. We're going to add a resolution, document number RFPW 0840, which is the Employee Assistance Program. This came over this afternoon. As you know, items are due in council office the Wednesday before the meeting. This came over late today. This is really unacceptable that it's done this way, but this goes into effect May 1st, so we really don't have a choice, and we don't want our employees to be without this service. So we are adding that as 12B under miscellaneous. And we're also adding a resolution that Ms. Rogency asked us to put on the agenda recognizing Workers' Memorial Day. It's a resolution recognizing that. And I think that is it.
What item will that be?
That item will be 10B.
Thank you. Any other?
Mr. President?
Mr. Watts?
I just have one question. I noticed there is no correspondence from the mayor's office. I haven't seen that in the 3.5 years I've been on council.
Mr. President?
Ms. Moore?
I assume it is because we have added budget items to be discussed at this meeting, and he put nothing on the agenda because he didn't want his people, he does not want the audience and the people at home to hear the answers of his administration. I don't know why.
Okay.
I would like the public to hear what I'm doing in my department if I'm proud of the work. So we'll just,
I just
we'll
found
do
it
our
odd
best.
that I haven't seen that before,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Thank you.
It's shocking, I realize.
Any other? Call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Watts?
Yes.
Mr. Kabazinski?
Yes.
Mr. Papandrea?
Yes.
Mr. Rogency?
Yes.
Green votes yes. Item passed 7-0. Next item.
Next item is 6A, calendar of pending matters. Motion to receive and file.
Support Lafferty.
Motion by Moore, support by Lafferty. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item.
Next item is 6B, discussion in-ray resident and neighborhood concerns.
Mr. President,
Ms. Rogency?
I would love to ask the police department, I think Ms. Moore has brought this up previously, there is a traffic problem, speeding problem from Common Road on Shaner to 12 Mile. Folks just fly. I live at Common and Shaner, but the residents there have expressed concern around how fast people go. So I'm wondering if there's a traffic study or a light that could be put in or something, because folks are going incredibly fast and it's just pretty dangerous.
Thank you.
Mr. President?
Ms. Moore?
Maybe we could send over and request a traffic study in that area, and that will maybe set the stage for them to do something further. So we
They
might
could
add
put a
that.
light in, probably at Racine, if, I don't know, I'm not obviously a traffic expert, but you could put a light in and slow folks down pretty considerably along that stretch. But it's very loud if you walk that street, and the cars just, if you spend any amount of time there, the cars are flying by. And I know that is not unique to one area of the city, that there's lots of places folks have concerns about traffic. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any additional?
Mr. President.
Mr. Lafferty?
Just requesting an update on the hotel home that is at 31646 Bellevue. I did answer several questions and inquiries from various department heads over the last couple of weeks. They reached out as a result of the discussion here two Tuesdays ago. So I was hoping to have an update tonight from police, fire, and property maintenance, but there's nobody here. So as we requested.
Okay.
So I will bring that up. We can add that to the agenda for 2 weeks from now as an item, asking them for an update. Thank you.
Any additional?
Mr. President.
Mr. Kaczynski?
I have kind of a grocery list here, so hopefully indulge me here a little bit. First item is an update on 7259 Page. The administration had Mr. Hagberg go out to that house. This is the house that's by Mark and Andy Salama, and found several violations there, including junk and debris. The windows and the doors are inadequate. The rodent harbinger, the interior services, and unfit for human occupancy. So there was a court date on the 19th, and it was suspended for 30 days to allow Mr. Salama and to come into compliance. There's still a question of whether or not the building can actually be saved because of the damage to the foundation and also to the roof and to the siding. That's an update on that one that I got from the administration. The next one we do have pictures for is on Monday the 17th of April, 3935 Stevens has a tree that fell over into the yard of 3905, and that tree damaged the wood fence and on the other side, as well as the fence that is right behind over there where the light pole is at. The next item is 3755 Stevens. This is another fallen tree, which they just had up there, including rubbish and debris that is also on that property. The garage is also in shambles, as well as they are putting the debris into the driveway, and they have a work permit to do the inside of the house, but they're throwing everything outside, inside the house, outside, and making an eyesore for the community. I did notice that this vehicle, the person working in there is out of state. Once again, it's not somebody that lives here in Michigan. And I did see skunks, groundhog, some rats, and some mice in that area over there. So this is on Stevens. This was addressed and cited, but it's still an ongoing situation. The next one is on the corner of Mosh and Ira. It's 22585. This happened over the weekend on the 22nd, and it also happened on Sunday. They are operating a business out of that house. This seems to be a landscaping company or a groundskeeping company. They had several vehicles that were blocking the turn there at Mosh and Ira, and these 5 vehicles are at the end lot. They also claimed that they had purchased the easement or the old alleyway that used to be be between the back end of 9 Mile, behind the sub shop there, and the residence. I found out today that that was not true. That was a false statement made to the police as well as myself, because that there was never an alleyway there, and that trailer has been there for a very long time. This is also another rodent harbinger incident in which the groundhogs and the skunks, and they're basically making a home in the trailer as well as the property there. And then the last item, there was a very serious traffic crash that happened on 12 Mile. This was on the 20th, which was a Thursday. This was for, I hope I'm saying this right, Darul Uloom, Michigan, as well as the M50 auto sales. We lost 3 of the street lights that were damaged as a result of this here. There was also some wires that were down on the easement and the public sidewalk. On this day here, it was a nice day outside, so kids were riding their bikes, people were jogging. I actually ran into the mayor when he almost tripped over one of the transformers that was on the sidewalk. The fire department did a really good job of coming out there, and at last photos that are at the end, cleaned up that area. I talked to the fire chief about it. He made it a safer area, and evidently that was finally all cleaned up and tidied up today. But this lasted since Thursday. So when we have a problem like this, AT&T, WOW, Comcast, they don't seem to be very quick out there and trying to clean up this mess here. But you know, this is something that might happen again in the future, and it would be nice if they could be a little bit more diligent about responding to the fire department when these things happen.
Thank you. Any additional?
Mr. President?
Mr. Watts.
I got a couple items. The first one, excuse me, is on 32340 Hawthorne. If communications could just throw that picture up there. That's a problem with the street there. It is extremely bad, and it needs to be taken a look at. I don't know what they can do to go out there and maybe cut that section out or get it fixed, but it is extremely bad, and the residents complaining that it's been like that for quite a few years. Second one I got is on Timken Street, and I got a complaint. The next two, I got a complaint from a resident down there, so I went down yesterday and took a look at these. First one is 8035 Timken, and the yard, I could not believe the yard. So hopefully property maintenance could take a look at that. And 8260 Continental, another one where a towing business is being run out of the yard and the vacant property next door, and there's a lot of trucks parked out there coming and going, and the residents complaining about that, so if they could take a look at that. Lastly is one, I think all of us have been getting an email from this gentleman about rental properties. So in my spare time, I did some research on these, and every address that he has sent comes back to the same LLP. And there's no rental licenses supposedly for a lot of these. There's no way to really tell for sure. But what troubles me is on a lot of these houses, they don't have a certificate of compliance on file. And many of the houses do have a certificate of compliance, and he's saying these homes are being rented without a rental license and without a certificate of occupancy or certificate of compliance, whatever they call it these days. So I would like to see a written response. This company owns 109 properties in one name and 22 properties in another name. So if we got somebody operating that many rental properties without a rental license, that's a serious problem. So I'd like to get a report back from the administration by the next meeting. And that's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Watts. Any additional?
Mr. President.
Ms. Moore.
I have a scenario that I would like to explain. Perhaps I don't see anybody from the city attorney's office here, but perhaps Mr. Schroeder could help. A renter in a rental property got the permission of the neighbors to remove a fence. The fence was to be removed, and they were replacing the fence. The landlord was putting a new fence in. They removed the fence, and then the tenant moved out, and now there's no fence. A new tenant is there, and there are dogs in the backyard that are sometimes let loose. So the neighbor now is very concerned about that, and I'm wondering what legal recourse there is for the neighbor.
Is it the loose dog the issue?
Yes, because it's not kept in a backyard and there's kids next door.
The city ordinance on loose dogs could be
Right.
enforced.
But there's no way to force them to put the fence up if they agreed to it? I mean, there's nothing in writing, I guess. I'm not getting
Well-
answers. I've tried to get answers, and nobody seems to know anything.
Fence disputes are among the most difficult to try to sort through.
Right.
It's probably a private civil matter, but certainly if there's something that's in writing, it might be enforceable.
I don't think it
I don't know
is.
that that's the city's issue.
And of course, it's an out-of-state landowner. So they're probably out of luck.
They can certainly make a loose dog report and
Okay.
maybe go to the building department and check the fence permitting and have a discussion there.
Okay, thank you.
Any additional?
Mr. President?
Ms. Rogenstein?
Sorry, one additional one. I've sent over to the administration, but for those that live in the area that are watching or are interested, the section of Dover that backs up to Ridgewood Park, the backyards have apparently a ton of flooding. And I think Parks and Recreation is addressing it, but it is something I think that we have to look at, particularly because I've heard a number of complaints around pooling of water and a variety of other things. Folks have said that in heavy rains, their backyards, which were not flooding before, are now filled with water. And I don't know if it's a drainage issue or what, but would love to make sure that those folks don't have to worry about it going forward.
Thank you. Any additional? I have a couple. 3229 Pearl, a resident called asking when trees on the boulevard are going to be trimmed. I don't know what the schedule is in that area, but if we could send it over to the administration to hopefully address it, the resident would appreciate that. And then on Weir, W-E-I-E-R Street, just west of Bunnert, there was either a sidewalk replaced or a sewer line cleaned out on the residential property, and whoever, whether the city or the private contractor, they put blacktop where they removed the sidewalk pad, and it's not walkable. It's undulating, sloppy. You couldn't take a stroller over, you couldn't take a bike over it. It's an extreme hazard, and I hope the administration can check on that. If someone can call me tomorrow from the administration, I can send over the specific address. I don't have it here. I just took a picture of it. I forgot to write down the address. And then finally, I think all of us would like to say congratulations to Team 818, the Steel Armadillos, for finishing third overall at the 2023 First Robotics World Championship in Houston, Texas, April 19th through the 22nd. These are the kids from the Butcher, the Math and Science Center of Warren Conn schools that won their local competition, the state competition, a few days before, or the weekend before, and then had to fly down to Texas the next week. And the parents went, and the kids went, and they took third in the nation. So some kids here from Warren and Sterling Heights came in third in the nation. That is something we should all be very, very proud of. So hopefully maybe at the next meeting we can prepare a resolution and invite Warren Consolidated and the students here. But that's something that we're all very, very pleased about.
Yep.
Any additional? Next item.
Next item is 7A, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of March 28th, 2023. So moved.
Support.
Motion by Moore, support by Lafferty. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Point of order, Mr. President.
Point of order?
Motion to send the resident and neighborhoods concerns to the administration.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there, okay, going back to 6B, is there a motion?
Support. So moved.
Support. Motion by Lafferty, support by Watts, to send all the items of the council over to the administration. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Mr. Lafferty. Next item.
Next item is 7B, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of April 11th, 2023. So moved.
Support Lafferty.
Motion by Moore, support by Lafferty. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item.
Next item is 8A, approval of the bills of the general revenue funds. Motion to approve.
Support Lafferty.
Motion by Moore, support by Lafferty. Discussion?
Mr. President,
Mr. Watts.
I have a check on here, 652899 to Macomb Community College for $21,2996. And I was hoping there would be somebody here from administration tonight that could answer questions in regards to this particular item. So I would make a motion to table that particular check until we can get the answers, because I understand there's some issues.
Yeah, it wasn't budgeted.
Yeah.
I'll support that tabling.
Motion by Watts, support by Moore to table. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Do you want a roll call vote, Mr. Papandreou?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Watts?
Yes to table the check.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Kabazinski?
No.
Mr. Papandreou?
No.
Ms. Rogency?
Yes.
Green votes yes. Items tabled 5-2. On the balance of the bills, any questions? Call the question. Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Watts?
Yes.
Mr. Papandreou?
Yes.
Ms. Rogency?
Yes.
Mr. Kabazinski?
Yes. Green
votes yes. Item passes 7-0. Next item.
Next item is 8B, approval of the bills of the water and sewer system. So moved.
Support Lafferty.
Motion by Moore, support by Lafferty. Discussion? Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Lafferty?
Yes.
Mr. Watts?
Yes.
Ms. Rogency?
Yes.
Mr. Kabazinski?
Yes.
Mr. Papandreou?
Yes.
Green votes yes. Item passes 7-0. Next item.
Next item is 8C, general fund revenue report. Motion to receive and file.
Support Lafferty.
Motion by Moore, support by Lafferty. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
To receive and file? Opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is 8D, general fund expenditure report. Motion to receive and file.
Support Lafferty.
Motion by Moore, support by Lafferty. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item.
Audience.
Members of the audience who'd like to address council this evening may do so under the audience portion. You'll be given 3 minutes to speak. When there's 1 minute left, I'll let you know. And when you hit 3 minutes, I'll ask you to wrap up. The first speaker is Curtis Ostash.
Good evening, members of our City Council. How are you tonight? Curtis Ostash, resident of the City of Warren and also pastor of Harvest Time Christian Fellowship on 9 Mile Road. A couple things that I'd like to bring to your attention. I've provided each of you a postcard regarding the National Day of Prayer, which is coming up at City Hall on Thursday, May 4th at noon. I invite all of you to come to the National Day of Prayer. For the last 3 years, because of COVID, the National Day of Prayer wasn't held at City Hall. 2 of the prior years, it was held at Ascension St. John Hospital at 12 and Hoover, and last year it was held at De La Salle School. And so this year, it was agreed that we could bring it back to City Hall, and I would like to personally invite all of you to come to that event and participate. I think it's an important event. God knows the city needs more prayer. The next item that I'd like to address is regarding Upward basketball program that the Alliance of Warren Evangelical Churches held at the Owen Jack Center. As you know, the Owen Jack Center is pretty much closed to the public, but because of us dealing with the administration and Parks and Rec, Dino Tricato, they were very gracious in letting us engage kids for this Upward basketball program. There was 145 kids that practiced on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, ages from kindergarten to 4th grade, and their parents were involved and came as well. So there was about 300 plus people there for those events. And then on Saturday, it was game day, and the kids came back, and it was a good way to engage kids in South Warren because there's just not a lot for kids in South Warren to do. So kudos to those within the administration and Parks and Rec that made that happen. And also, on Easter weekend, we did in the park attached to Owen Jack, the same kids, and for the community kids, we had an Easter egg hunt and an Easter jam, music engagement thing. The kids had a blast. Food was served throughout all the basketball game days and for the Easter jam event on Easter weekend. And so it was a good outreach. I appreciate the city allowing us to use the facility, which is underused at Owen Jack, and it was good overall. So
3 minutes.
Appreciate your time, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
John Renaud.
I'd like to ask Mindy Moore a question in regards to the city budget. It's my understanding that last year the budget was sent to every department head and they had a chance to look it over and they had a chance to have their input into the city budget. And this year you guys aren't doing it that way. I thought that was a very effective way of dealing with the budget. I checked with George Demas, and Demas said that's the way it was handled last year. And this year you guys are just, fluffing off the heads of the departments and doing it your own way. It's another part of not communicating with the people that are trying to help the people in this town. You also said, Mindy Moore, in a news report that I saw on television in regards to the election of the mayor being on the ballot, and you said, well, all we're doing is using the city charter. Well, that's true. You are using the city charter, but you're using it when it's to your advantage. Our city attorney, Mr. Ethan Vincent, obviously should be up there taking the place of this gentleman here who just keeps his head down the whole time people speak at him, and make sure that he can continue to rape the citizens of this town. You haven't told anybody about what the costs of all these lawsuits that have happened within the city, and I think they deserve to know. A lot of people are not informed, and I think they should be. Mr. Green, in regards to the appeal process, in regards to you running for mayor, I can see why, you enjoyed
1 minute.
the fact that the mayor had all the appeals that had to take place. I mean, obviously it benefited everybody. It benefited you the most, because without that, therethere's no way you could beat Mayor Faust in an election, and you know that. The last thing I want to say is I've come here all year long, and it's always been the same thing. Every single meeting, you've wasted the taxpayers' money. You have people that come here and you just blow them off. You don't look at them. You don't care. I'm not saying everyone, but the majority of you. The citizens of this town deserve leadership that cares about the people. And we have leadership, and we're not done yet. The Supreme Court has not ruled, and as far as I'm concerned, Mayor Faust is still our mayor, and we still need to work with him.
3 minutes.
Thank you.
Pete Sutliff.
Hello, I'm Pete Sutliff, and I live in Southwest Warren, and I'm not a paid protester. I'm looking at the mayor's proposed budget and the city goals and objectives. I see no goals or objectives that are concerned with the environment. No goals for clean air, no goals for clean water, no goals for preserving or restoring natural habitat, and no goals for addressing climate change. Why doesn't the city budget include care of the environment that we all depend on? I don't know any human being or animal in this city that doesn't need clean air and water. Beautification, like cutting grass and street sweeping, are one thing, but those are really inconsequential to a healthy environment. One thing needed for a healthy environment are plants, especially trees. They filter water, absorb carbon dioxide, secrete oxygen that all of us are breathing at this moment. It was devastating to see a small forest of trees cut down at Dallas and Ryan this year. And for what? A new storage facility, of which there are already 2 in the immediate area. We need ordinances that limit the number of trees that can be cut down for new developments, and a concerted effort to plant more trees to improve air quality and help fight climate change. The city should also develop a plan for installing fast charging stations throughout the city in a systematic format as more electric vehicles are being developed and sold. We could also encourage development of rain gardens to reduce the burden of heavy rains on our water treatment plant, and importantly, reduce dumping of sewage into the Red Run, which flows into Lake St. Clair. Organizations like Friends of the Rouge could be partnered with to train people to create rain gardens. This will improve water quality and also give homeowners the satisfaction of a biodiverse garden to enjoy, and the knowledge that they are also helping reverse the decline of pollinators. Finally, the city should develop a climate action plan to reduce our fossil fuel dependency in the 7 years we have remaining to reverse climate change. We could start right now by doing an assessment of Warren's energy use and finding ways we can save energy and save money at the same time, while improving the prospect for future generations of having a healthy ecosystem to live in. How much time do I have left?
20 seconds.
All right. I just want to mention one more concern that affects the environment. Road replacements are very expensive. The replacement of Ryan 9 to 10 northbound was long overdue and appreciated, but Ryan 9 to 10 southbound was in great shape and did not need replacement. Yet it is underway as I speak. There's no reason spot repairs to the 5 small damaged areas in those 2 lane miles could not have been done instead. And it's not just money that's wasted, it's a waste of environmental resources as well as inconvenience to drivers.
Thank you, Mr. Sutliff. Mohammed Isla, Vice President of BAM.
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Mohammed Islam, Vice President of BAM. As you can see, the concern is there was a festival was organizing by BAM since 2009 at the City Square every year, and we were hosting those representing the Bangladeshi community. It was like...
Thank you, Mr. Bell.
Every year, about 5,000 to 10,000 people gathered at the festival. Since last year, this festival was canceled without any real cause, as we described everything on this paper because I get only 3 minutes. So we cannot go over everything. This year also we booked just like all the time, and it was canceled by Mr. Park and Recreation Director, Mr. Dino. Mm-hmm. And what caught our, substantially caught our attention is you can say no, but the way it was said that there cannot be an ethnic festival at this time. So we're asking every one of you to take a look at this matter and why it is a ethnic festival and cannot happen when it was happening every year since 2009, and it was attended by lots of dignitaries. It's been a successful event. It's been a goodwill for Bangladeshi American community as a whole, also as well as Warren and surrounding areas. People enjoyed that day, and it's just a festival. And we were shocked, and we do not know what event or what things made Mr. Dino make this kind of decision and racial remarks by canceling this event. So this was supposed to be addressed by Mr. President.
3 minutes.
And my name came in first.
Okay.
But I had told you the summary of it. So we are here, they will come in after me. We are here to, ask council members to take a look at this and address this issue and give us a good answer.
We'll reach
Please.
out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Papandreou?
I'd like to make a motion that we send a letter to Mayor Fouts, ask him to requesting approval of this festival. I've attended it. It's a wonderful festival, and I think it should be approved.
Several of us have, yes. We'll do that after audience is done, and we'll have it addressed. Mr. Chowdhury? Mr. Chowdhury, you're up. The President of the band.
Hello, respected council and beloved citizen of Warren. Warm greeting to everyone. My name is Javed Chaudhary, President of Bangladesh Association of Michigan BAM. I am also a small business owner, Managing Director of Shohid Nesa Home Care. So I am here to talk about Bangladesh American Festival organized by Bangladesh Association of Michigan BAM, which is happening here at Warren City Square since 2009. At the beginning of this year, 2023, I, Javed Chaudhary, the President of BAM, and Shumon Kobir, the General Secretary of BAM, have spoken to Mr. Dino Turcato of Park and Recreation Director over the phone and confirmed the dates for the festival as July 22nd and 23rd. As we have spoken on February 22nd, we have received an email with the rental agreement from Mr. Dino office. At March 10, 2023, we Javed Chaudhary and Shumon Kobir went to your office, and at the presence of Ms. K.G. Kawasaki, Dino Turcato have signed the rental agreement form, which already have signed by BAM representative. As usual, we have started our preparation for the festival. We have published the dates on social media, paid the advance fees to the event organizer, artists, everything. Have planned everything for the festival. We do not, on April 3rd, 2023, Over the phone, you have stated, Suman Kovid, that you cannot have an ethnic group have a festival at the city square of Warren. We do not know what does that mean by ethnic group. We are the resident of our beloved city of Warren. We've been having this festival since 2009. After a month of communication and having agreement signed by both parties, how could you cancel the event over a phone call? During the telephone conversation with our organization secretary, he have stated that he is going to send an email with an explanation. We have not received any email as of today. Without any reason, Park and Recreation canceling the event just because of we are a people of color. They have done the same thing last year, 2022, and caused a huge financial damage to our organization. As a result, the Office of Mayor received a huge number of phone calls from our community members asking why you guys have canceled the festival. We have spoken to our community members and told them those kind of things happen sometime, but you guys are doing.
If you could wrap up, please, it's 3 minutes.
Again, as at a similar style, tell us we being racially discrimination. Bangladesh Association of Michigan BAM 501c3 non-profit organization representing over more than 150,000 Bangladeshi American population here at Michigan. We are really upset and feeling violated of our right. I hope you understand how hard it is to organize a festival like that. We are certain that our beloved city of Warren does not tolerate racism. We expect more professional manner from our city. We are going to submit the print out of the email conversation, the rental agreement, and the picture of the festival that is happening since 2009. Our appeal to the Honorable Council, please address the issue and help us get the reserved dates for the festival of more than 150,000 Bangladeshi American living here at Michigan. Please help us get justice. Thank you everyone for listening to me. Have a good night.
Thank you, Mr. Chowdhury. Mateen Chowdhury. Mateen Chowdhury. Amend the agenda.
Respected council and my beloved residents, Warren residents, I am here because of already, I think, present president, he explained everything. Why I was president since 2010 to 2013. Every year we enjoy our festival. And all of a sudden, from last 2022, we cannot get permission our festival. I don't know why and what is the reason behind it. Is there any conspiracy, or I believe this is a diversity. Warren City is very diversity right now. And I'm upset, really I'm upset. We enjoyed, our community people enjoyed every year 2 days festival. I have a lot of evidence with me. Our respected mayor, I have evidence with me, and I don't know why nowadays we are not enjoying our festival. My request, all of you, please look after this matter and let us enjoy our festival. Let us enjoy our community. People, they enjoy every year. And now, that time was, I think, 80,000.
1 minute.
80,000 people. Right now, maybe 150,000. Community day by day growing, our community people. So we want justice. Please, my cordial request, all of you, please look after this matter and will be appreciated. Thank you very much.
Mr. Ahmed? Ahad Ahmed?
Mr. President and City Council, thank you for giving me a chance to talk. I'm Ahad Ahmed, resident of City of Troy. In profession, I'm an electrical engineer. The reason I'm here, I'm kind of shocked and surprised for a very simple reason. We have to come in front of City Council today. I'm here for our Bangladesh Association of Michigan's BAM's Summer Festival as well. We started this festival since 2009. I was founder president at that time. And since 2009, we are having that 2 days event in front of City Hall and enjoy the 2 days summer festival where is held cultural music, food, clothes, everything. However, for pandemic, we could not celebrate that festival for a couple years. But last year, Bangladesh Association of Michigan tried to organize it with City Bash. I think they were combinedly going to arrange that event. However, in last minute, Park and Recreation said, "Oh no, you cannot combinedly celebrate that," and cancel our festival. But last year we did not have enough time to reschedule it because it was like, I believe, somewhere in September, first week of September or last week of August. This year, BAM also rented that festival, rented July 22nd and 23rd through Park and Recreation. And I think they have like a few conversations in between. And a couple of days ago, they just sent their check back without any written response on it. I think which is handled by very unprofessional response. But we are here in front of City Council to look at that matter sincerely and give us chance for our kids and whole community to enjoy our summer festival. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mo Islam.
Hello everyone, good evening. Thank you so much for letting me talk over here. First of all, good evening to my respected councilmen and everyone here. I am supporting the festival. I think it's a great program. We can get together each other and we can see each other. I think it's the best program to bring all the people in united and we can see everybody here. Get together, we can meet all our councilmen, all our new candidates, and I think it would be a great pleasant for the city of Warren because city of Warren is a melting pot. It's a great city, it's great. It's a third biggest city in town, so I think we need a mixed culture. We need more festivals and more get together. Thank you everyone, have a great night.
Thank you. Michael Howard.
Good afternoon. The last time I was in this auditorium, it was really, really crazy. It was about 200 kindergarten students in here, and the communications team handled it beautifully. I chaperoned my daughter's kindergarten field trip, and it was their first field trip ever. But the students had a comment as we were riding the bus here, as we were going, it was like, man, these roads, the road drive was really bumpy. These roads are messed up. Somebody should fix them. So I just wanted to deliver that message on behalf of my daughter's kindergarten class that about 6 of them wanted me to come here and tell you guys that they really want the roads to be fixed, particularly Ryan Road, which is the one we took to get here. And for us to have a city that is so large and have 82% of our roads failing, it's unfortunate. This council is getting ready to finish off the allocating the budget of what's going to end up being like $1.32 billion after everything is allocated. And again, if you drive through South Warren, it doesn't look like an equal distribution of funds throughout the city. It seems like South Warren only gets respect or care every 4 years. The parks are falling apart, but if you go up north, they look nice. The roads are falling apart, but if you go up north, they look nice. Time and time again, South Warren always gets forgotten, and it's a tale of two cities. That was a great book, but it doesn't make a great city. It doesn't make a great story for Warren, and it would be great for us to actually be one city, one Warren, and not north versus south, because I pay taxes just like everyone else in the South End, and we would love to see our tax dollars actually work for us on the South End of the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Shabir Ruan?
He left.
Thank you. Tammy Johnson.
Hello.
Hi.
I've never done this before, so I'm a little nervous.
Take your time.
But I have this. I want you guys all to see this. If you don't mind.
Baseball. Yeah.
So,
Do yourself.
thank you for taking the time. I just wanted to, I guess I'm complaining or I'm asking for some help. I live across De La Salle, the school, across the baseball field, the diamond. And those balls are coming in my yard, hitting my house, breaking my car windows, hitting the top of the roof, landing in my backyard, almost hitting me. They land on my porch. They're destroying my property. We have tried to communicate with the school several times, and each time now they don't even answer our phone calls. Now our friends are coming over. They have their motorcycles. It's a
Go ahead, keep
CBO,
talking.
and it's getting hit. So we had called the police. The police came out and said we couldn't do nothing, but tried to make everything fine. And now they're not answering our phone calls or anything. So that we keep trying to communicate with the school, and they're destroying our property. We have broken windows. Our roofs are getting destroyed. It's landing right on my front porch. People are coming on my porch. They're coming under my bedroom window to get these balls, and the school only complained so that we kept their $5 ball when they're destroying $50,000 property, $200,000 house, a roof, shingles, and it almost hit me in the head in my own yard. So I'm just asking for someone to address it. I don't know how. That's all I really have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to add this to the agenda and discuss. Nathan King.
Mr. President, what was the address on that again?
14507.
Good evening, Council. My name is Nathan King. I also live on Common Road, across the street from De La Salle. And it's funny, between Shaynard and Hayes, there's a sign that says, "Welcome to Warren, a clean, safe city." It's clean, but it's not safe in my area that I live because of flying foul balls. Now, I've spoken to Gary, and he actually came out and he checked out the situation, and they eventually kind of brushed him off. I've called the operator, his name is Joe Girardi. He's in charge of all the operations at De La Salle. At first, he was cooperative. After my truck windshield, as you can see in those photos, were burst out. My property's constantly being bombarded. my rear awning. I was sitting there watching TV one Sunday, and I heard this bang, and all of a sudden I heard this loud, like the awning nearly fell off my house. And I went out the back, and there were baseballs. And those pictures show hundreds of baseball strikes. Now, I only lived in that house since 2011, and it seems that over the last few years, it's been getting worse and worse and worse. Something has to be done. I even called the Catholic League, which is over De La Salle. I left the messages, emails, no response. And now Joe Girardi's response is, you know, it's basically buyer beware, and the reason why they don't want to put an overhang to stop balls from flying is because he said that the players want to catch foul balls. Well, they should come across the street in front of our houses and catch foul balls, or in our backyard and catch the foul balls. My property's being damaged. My son almost got hit in the head. I almost got hit in the head. I'm out washing my car. Bing, here comes a ball and strikes my car. This is ridiculous. I have neighbors with garage doors that are pepper sprayed with balls. I have neighbors down the street, whole side of his truck damaged.
1 minute.
And also, people who are walking through with their children, riding bikes, riding motorcycles. What's going to happen when a ball strikes somebody in the head and then they die? Then we'll make some kind of action happen. What I'm just saying, as a resident of Warren, we need to do something ASAP, because my safety is at risk, my property's being damaged, my neighbors are all worried. I'm scared to come outside during a baseball game. Thank you.
Thank you. David Domenic.
Good evening, Council.
Wrong one. Mr. Domenic.
David Denmark, or?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're at the end.
Hello, my name is Dave Demonick, live in Warren. So on April 13th, 2023, our 15-year-old daughter was walking down the city sidewalk on a 14-mile road between Ryan and DeQuinder with our 10-year-old cockapoo named Buttercup. A large Rottweiler from a residence on 14-mile road crawled underneath their unsecured fence and attacked my dog over and over again, shaking it like a rag doll. While my daughter screamed in horror, a man from Sterling Heights on the 14-mile side ran across the 5 lanes of traffic to help, then finally got the dog off our dog, but also tried to bite him. My daughter had to carry our limp, bloody dog into the vet. They couldn't help, so the office drove our dog and daughter to the emergency vet, but our dog had too many injuries. We had to put her down. My family's been mourning in ways that no one, can probably understand. So now that my daughter's traumatized by this entire episode that took place, but unfortunately, no one can do anything about it, right? So this was the second dog attack. The first attack took place 7 months ago. The owner's gate was open. The dog ran out from the backyard and attacked the neighbor's Yorkie. They made a police report. The owner was able to pick up their dog. There was a 10-day quarantine, warning for a dog at large, and no license. So after our dog was killed, my wife spent every day on the phone or online fighting to get this Rottweiler taken away. So much for grieving. She sent nonstop emails and phone calls to the mayor to remove the dog so it would not harm another animal or person. This is unacceptable, and this is not our responsibility. Finally, the mayor obtained an emergency court order to have the dog removed. The owner was still going to fight to get the dog back. This is absurd. We have a summons and complaint forms ready, if possible. if needed. The owner is very negligent. This should, we shouldn't pay for this. I mean, this is not rocket science. So we are thinking that any dog like this should be removed. If it kills another dog, why doesn't the city of Warren have this in place? What happens if a dog like this severely injures or kills a toddler? I mean, this is
1 minute.
It's a joke. I don't know. So the last thing that I'd like to say is that I would love to know if the city of Warren went there and inspected her property. I mean, that, if it was, our dog would still be alive. So that's what I got to say. And my wife should be up next. Thank you.
Thank you. Jill Dominic?
Hi, thank you for letting me speak. I am Jill Dominic, also owner of our deceased dog, Buttercup. I am asking you, Mr. Lafferty, and the City Council to review the current City of Warren ordinances regarding dog attacks and dog ownership, and to strengthen them in order to better protect our citizens and animals. I have been unable to grieve the loss of my best friend, my shadow, my joyful companion, and our family member, because I've been fighting against city ordinances that are currently in place regarding dog attacks or dog killings. And as my husband said, before our dog was mauled to death, literally, this same dog bit the neighbor's Yorkie and her son, and nothing was really done to make sure the owners. I just figure if, a dog bites a dog and a person, at least we as a city should make sure the property of that owner is secure. Her property is not secure. The dog got under the chain link fence. You can lift up the fence. I did it myself and took pictures for the police and for the court, because that's where we'll be heading. It is not secured, and if the city would have checked her, property after the first attack, maybe it could have avoided attacking our dog or any other dog. Our daughter was traumatized. She was our teen walking the dog by herself, and this is the best part, they left the dog after it killed our dog, and there was another attack, so that's 2 attacks, 1 death, and the dog got to stay at the house. Absurd. That is absurd. I mean, I fought for 5 days straight. I called Jonathan Lafferty, was amazing, absolutely amazing, helping me and the mayor, and I finally got the mayor to get a court order, an emergency court order to get that dog out of there, but I fought 5 days straight. Literally, all day, on the phone. I posted a warning on Nextdoor online, and I warned people, don't walk by the house, don't walk by the area, because the dog's still sitting there. What if a mother and a toddler and a little doggy walk by? Because I'll tell you what, that dog hates little dogs. It attacked a Yorkie and my little dog, and they said the dog hates little dogs. Oh, I would have loved to have seen if a mother, a toddler, and a little dog walks by, what would happen to the city. So I posted a warning. I got nonstop every day for the last 2 weeks, comments, suggestions, guidance, and condolences from the Nextdoor community. A lot of people shared their frustrations with the city of Warren. I emailed the mayor a small portion of these comments from people voicing their fears, anger, and frustrations. They are afraid for their dog's safety and their own safety. They voice what they will do. They're going to carry mace, clubs, and whatever they have to do. And I've had people say, we're going to be packing. And you know what that means. One man said CPL owners should take their dogs for a walk. I'd love to see that stroll on the news. That's what he told me. We all know what he means. Madison Heights police officer I know specifically in my neighborhood said that the dog that killed ours would have been taken away that day.
3 minutes.
Our animals are not property. The lengths I had to go through to get this dog removed from the home is unacceptable. So the dog ordinances need to change.
Thank you. Joel Vanderlinden?
Longtime Warren resident.
I think it's totally irresponsible of this council to vote for any